My name is Jasmine. Happy Pride Month, guys! So if you don't know what asexuality is, asexual people are people who usually don't experience sexual desire or sexual attraction, or if they do experience it, it's either very low or it's very rare for it to happen. I wanted to talk about asexuality today because I feel like asexuality is not a sexuality that is very talked about, very respected. It is sometimes even treated as a sin. So basically, today I wanted to do makeup inspired by the asexual flag. I think I had a little bit too much fun with my makeup today. And also, I have these buttons. So I have the asexual flag, this pin that says no sex, and then I have our asexual Lord and Savior, Alistair himself. Anyways, that's enough yapping from me. Let's get into this list. I just think that these songs are related to the asexual experience, whether they intend to be or not. I'm not claiming that these are like definitively asexual songs. I'm not trying to speculate on anyone's sexuality. So I hope that clears things up. The first song is called A Pearl by Mitski. Sorry, I don't want your touch. It's not that I don't want you. Sorry, I can't take your touch. So these lyrics are so real, like they just hit home. When you're an asexual person and you're into dating people, it can be an extremely scary experience trying to be with someone because the majority of the people crave this kind of intimacy, and when you don't, it can make you feel really insecure and self-conscious. This is just kind of like how I get in my own head sometimes, and I feel like a lot of asexual people can relate to this. I have experience with this type of thing. So this song is like very cathartic for me. I love this song. It's very good. You guys should go and check it out. The next song on the list is one called She Said. That's kind of hard to say. She Said by the Jins. She said, I was supposed to be in bed. Oh no, things don't feel right in my head. So this song to me just kind of feels very like indicative of the anxiety that asexual people can sometimes feel, if we feel like we're pressured into situations where we feel like we have to please this other person, which it's kind of related to what I talked about earlier. When I listen to it, the story that I see in my head is like the person narrating the song doesn't know that they're asexual, and then they get into a relationship and then they're like, oh, wait a minute, I this is something that maybe I don't want to do, and they're just feeling really anxious about it. She said, I was supposed to be dead. Oh no, things don't feel right in my bed. Now I finally know. Just want to be alone. How I interpret this part is, okay, maybe this person's like, oh, well, I'm in this relationship now, so I have to do this. And then they end up being intimate with their partner in this way, but maybe they just don't feel satisfied. I think of, what is that French saying? La petite mort. I didn't take French in high school, y'all.
Bisous!
It's supposed to translate to like a little death, which is what some people refer to finishing as. And I just feel like maybe he just wasn't completely satisfied, or he couldn't completely satisfy the other person. She's like, no, this is how it was supposed to be. And he's like, oh. And then in the end, when he says, I'm supposed to be alone, it's him being like, oh, I just am not meant to be in relationships because I just can't do them correctly, which I feel like is something asexual people sometimes feel, unfortunately. So the next song that we have is Pretty Girls Make Graves by the Smiths. End of the pier, end of the bay. You tug my arm and say, give in to lust, give up to lust. Oh, heaven knows we'll soon be dust. I'm not the man you think I am. I'm not the man you think I am. I could have been wild and I could have been free, but nature played its trick on me. Like, as soon as I heard that, I was like, this is an asexual song. Even if it's not really an asexual song, yes, it is.
Deadass.
That's exactly what it feels like when people are constantly pushing something down your throat. And so it really does feel sometimes like, oh, like unfair. It can feel as if you've been slighted. So I love that. That little lyric alone is just so amazing to me. Yeah. So the next song is called It's Only Sex by the Car Seat Headrest. Just to see you, it's such a treasure. But when I feel you, my flesh yields no pleasure. Yeah, like that's such an asexual thing to say. Baby, my body constantly betrays me. I try to betray it. I only hurt myself. I feel like this is like sometimes you try to just force the feelings of like being uncomfortable away just so that you can try and go through with something that you really don't want, or and that only ends up hurting yourself. It's that age old thing, trying to force yourself to be something that you're not. It's not going to end up good in the end. It's only sex, it's only sex, it's only sex. No, it's not. But if you're someone who sees it as a big deal, you should not be invalidated in that feeling. If it is something that's a big deal to you and it makes you uncomfortable, you shouldn't have to, just brush your feelings aside because it's only sex. The next song that I have on the list is Wet by Dazey and the Scouts. One of my favorite bands of all time. I love them. All alone in my bedroom with the lights turned down and my roommate's gone. I know it's over, still I cling on. Cause I'm my own right hand girl and I don't need anyone. I interpret this as being about self-pleasuring. And this is something that some asexual people do. A lot of people kind of tend to get confused about what asexuality is. They think that asexual people don't do anything sexual at all, or that they don't experience arousal at all. And for some people that's the case, but for a lot of asexual people that's not the case. Some asexual people will be, intimate with themselves in that way, but they just don't want that with other people. So depressing how the tear ducts in my eyes are so much wetter than the space between my thighs. I can't help it, thinking about it only makes me cry. It keeps me wet, you keep me wet. How I kind of interpret this is that they're sad or upset about the fact that like they can't get that from their partner, not because it's their ex-partner and the partner isn't there anymore, but just because they just can't get that. Like they just don't feel those type of things and they're feeling upset about it. My blood runs cold, my thoughts are plasmic from not letting go, and letting go could be orgasmic, but I guess I wouldn't know. I just kind of interpret it as being like they wouldn't know if it's orgasmic, not because they can't bring themselves to let go, but because they just don't know what an orgasm feels like. Okay, so the next song on the list is We Not Humpin' by Monaleo and Milli. This is probably by far the most ridiculous song on this list because in order for me to tell myself that this is a song about asexuality, I have to ignore the majority of the lyrics. Put that dick up, we not humpin'. Ooh, he coming off way too pushy. I hope he didn't think he was getting this pussy. And also, he gotta be stupid to think we was fucking. This is a really sexual song, but ignoring that, those like little lyrics that I did cherry pick, I feel like this song is just fun to listen to because I can pretend like I'm in my confident ace era where I'm like, I don't care who doesn't want to be in a relationship with me because they want sex and I don't, whatever. It's empowering. I just love it and it just puts me in a good mood and it makes me feel like, wait a minute, why are you so insecure when it comes to this sometimes?
Oh, okay. Yeah.
The next song that we have is called Kiss by Mannequin Pussy, also one of my favorite bands of all time. I kiss myself when I'm feeling lonely, talk to myself when no one hears me, and you were miles away when I needed someone to take me down, say girl breathe in, and I'm not ashamed to feel lonely, but I'm afraid to feel it so deeply. This is another one of those songs where I interpret it as like an asexual person feeling secure in their identity and basically being like, they have themselves, they can be physically intimate with themselves, and I love that. Um, and basically just being like, if it came down to it and I never found another asexual person or no person who is compatible with me in that way, then I'm fine with being alone, but I still feel lonely sometimes. Like, I don't want to feel lonely. And I feel like that's so real. Like, she was so real for that. I'm going to end this list with a song that is just heavenly, and it's called We'll Never Have Sex by Leith Ross. Leith? Leith? I really don't know how to pronounce this name. You kissed me just to kiss me, not to take me home. It was simple, it was sweetness, it was good to know. If I said you could never touch me, you'd come over and say I looked lovely. Oh, you kissed me just to kiss me, not to make me cry. It was simple, it was sweetness. Let's just sit a while. Come and kiss me, pretty baby, like we'll never have sex. It's a person who's in a loving relationship and they found a partner who, doesn't care about them being asexual. Like, that's not something, like, maybe sex just isn't really that important to them, and so they can be in a relationship with this person, and this person seems to just be relishing in the fact that they feel accepted just as they are and comfortable enough to say, this might be something that I'll never be able to give to you in this relationship. And the other person's just like, that's fine. And it's just so beautiful and heartwarming. And I feel like the way that I interpreted a lot of these songs was kind of sad. So I just wanted to end out on a good note because at the end of the day, I don't think that the asexual experience is one that is necessarily all negative. I think that being an asexual just means that I navigate life differently than some other people do, and I think that that's okay at the end of the day. So yeah, that concludes this video. I had a lot of fun making this list. I would love to make it longer. I'm definitely going to be out on the hunt for more asexual songs. I'd love to know if you guys agree with this list or if you have any songs that you personally think are about asexuality. Yeah, so happy Pride Month, and to all the asexuals out there, you are looking especially beautiful. I want you to know that you are valid and you don't have to change yourself for anyone. You don't have to put yourself in situations where you feel uncomfortable. You don't have to settle for relationships that are not completely fulfilling for you. If you do crave romance, you are going to find that eventually in someone who loves you just the way that you are. And if you're someone who doesn't crave romantic relationships, I just want you to know that you're super cool and valid also. And yeah, thank you for watching this video if you did. And thank you for watching all the way to the end if you did. That makes me really happy. Goodbye.